Somagyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tanamane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. There is news yesterday that came to me that there is 70,000 votes against Jeff Bezos coming back to the earth after his space travel. What does it mean? What does it mean? Jeff Bezos, you know the guy? You don't know Jeff Bezos. You have no general knowledge. What do you read? Jeff Bezos is the guy who owns Amazon. So he is going on a space travel. He's got his own space station or whatever it is. I don't know the details. And then somebody, as a very smart guy, has put up saying that please vote for Jeff Bezos not to return back to planet Earth. I found that to be very funny. And 70,000 people have voted within so much time, saying that he should not return. He should not return to planet Earth. And it's increasing. I found that very intriguing. It is just a funny thing somebody has sent me. So, but I found it very intriguing that people are willing to vote for this rascal not to come back. Why? Because he's got so much wealth that in all his, 10,000 lifetimes, he will not be able to spend it. And he is flying all the way to somewhere, planet Mars, or I don't know which one, whatever it is. And they said, oh, you go, you don't come back. 70,000 people voted for it. Still don't come back. It found very hilarious to me. So look at the feeling of people that you rascal, you got so much money. And you got so much money because so many small people work for you. And so many small people who work all over the places here and there don't have money enough to even live their basic living. But you have so much money. So it's about inequality. That's basically the clamor is about inequality. What people not feeling that we are being treated properly. Somehow the earth's resources, somehow some people have more and the others have less. It's not supposed to be like that in a family. In a huge family, everybody is getting whatever they want and it's enough available. Father and mother will make sure that all the children are getting what they want and what they like, and there is plenty. There's no problem. That's how it's managed. And everybody feels secure and safe because I'll be protected. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita tells us that Krishna has made a design for everybody to be safe, happy, and get all their basic necessities. Unless otherwise they have some very deep karma which spoils them from enjoying the available necessities. So this is something that is rocking the world. There's a lot of talk I keep hearing about inequality, unequal distribution of wealth, disparity in the way people get opportunities for something. Basically, they're all talking about basic requirements and then beyond that, sense gratification. So even it's come down to such a low level, there is inequality even in basic requirements, which everybody should get anyway. Slavery is still going on. There are more slaves in bonded labor now than there was in previous times, it seems. That's very shocking. Some people are still bonded in labor in mines in Africa, in places in India on the brick kiln and this and that. All sorts of statistics are floating around. So there is so much inequality, more and more. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. And they're not able to do anything about it. because all governments are based on that economy which is controlled by all the rich people. So how can things become equal at all on the material platform? That's the whole problem. Here is it. What Bhagavad Gita says is actually the world is designed for inequality so that you will suffer inequality and you'll desire to be equal. And that equality will come through only if you understand the spiritual dimension of yourself. Spiritually, we are all equal. Materially, it is useless to try to make everybody equal. Impossible. Prabhupada spoke about spiritual communism. He spoke to Professor Kotovsky and said that we are also speaking about communism. We are also speaking about the equality of all beings, not only human beings. You're talking about human beings and equality. And two things, you're talking about material equality. I am talking about the equality of all beings, all creatures on the planet. They are all equal. They are all spirit souls. We are talking about spiritual communism, he said. It was a very stunning point. Prabhupada's message coming from Bhagavad Gita. The world is designed to be unequal only, so that you will get frustrated. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Varnashrama Acharya, Krishna is telling the Chatur Varnyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. I have created 4 orders of Varnas. It is not equal. They are not equal. There is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. They are obviously not designed to be equal. He would have said there is only one Varna. He would have said that. No, Chatur Varnyam, generally speaking 4. It means he is designed for inequality only. And then you will see that some are very intelligent and very well read and very educated and they're able to do it. Some are just about can do some physical work and have no brain. This is the range of people. Within that, you get many different types of people. World is designed for inequality. It is not designed for equality. And why is it so if all of us are equal as spiritual souls? Because this is not the place for enjoying spirituality. It is material world. It's a world of matter. And in the world of matter, there is always inequality. If you get carried away by the inequalities of the material world, you get more absorbed in the world of matter. And you'll suffer. And you'll suffer trying to make it equal. It's an impossible task to iron out and straighten everybody and Plato everybody as you're all equal. This is actually communism. The clamor for equality is actually communism. And it is still coming out in the form of these things. It is maybe not very popular as a government. Maybe a few people here and there, China and this and all that, and they're being hated by the world over. But communism is here to stay in the material world because it has come up again in the form of philosophical inquiry. Gender rights, male and female are same. Wealth distribution, wealth should be distributed the same. Everybody should have the same facility. Why? And all sorts of rights. Everybody is clamoring for that equality which is actually known to them because everybody knows I am spirit soul. And everybody knows we are all equal because we are spirit souls. But they don't know how to express it because they're not consciously aware of the fact that I am not this material body, I am spirit soul. So unless they connect with the supreme absolute truth, they will not be able to understand this. It's so stark, clear. When you read Bhagavad Gita without any prejudice and bias, you know that actually everybody is equal. Pandita Samadarshana. The Bhagavad Gita says equality. At the same time, it says inequality in this world. It says very clearly, Sunichaiva Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshana. That a dog eater, a brahmana, an elephant, all of them are seen equally by the person who has drishti like that. How is he able to see everybody equally? Because he sees them spiritually. So unless we learn to see spiritually, unless we learn to respect each other on the basis of the spiritual identity, there is no equality. There is no equality. So it's so frustrating an experience to desire equality in this material world. And it is never going to happen. History shows that everybody has tried to be competing over other and waging huge wars and killing each other, all in the name of equal possession and equality, or competing with somebody else. So it's a big history. And it's very amazing that you will not be equal to anybody else. So being at peace with yourself and not trying to compare yourself with others, not complain about equality and non-compare yourself. You are yourself very great. Each one should know as spiritual personality. And you should discover that wonderful spiritual personality. That is you, right? That is you. So if you are a great smart guy, if you're a cool dude, as the saying goes, then you must settle within the cool temperature, the cool understanding. I don't have to worry about all these things. I am myself spiritual. I don't have to really concern about material variety and try to Plato it and try to homogenize it, try to equal it. That's not the business of life. Business of life is not simply going around activism and trying to make people equal and then die unequal. Such a strange history, you see. So it, gives me a little humorous idea when Jeff Bezos, they get a great voting saying that don't bring this guy back. It was so funny that I was thinking that people are really, they'll do anything. This on, change.org. You can go and vote there. Even ISKCON had put up some things here and there once in a while. Change.org is a place where everybody can, for the sake of change, vote. And you can, for the change of sake, they're voting saying that everybody should equally distribute the wealth of Jeff Bezos because he won't come back. We want to make sure he doesn't come back. I think Jeff Bezos must be having knees knocking now. He does not know whether his own employees will do it for him. Send him off in the spaceship and program it in such a way that it keeps going and it never comes back. Something like that may happen if they decide to do something like that. It'll be amazing if something like that happens. So it's very interesting to note that so-called inequality is here to stay. I'll be cursed if I go outside and say this. World is designed to be unequal. It is the way it is designed, and it's frustrating to try to make everybody equal. Just like there are animals of various types, Jalajana, Avalakshani, Stavara, Lakshavimshati, Kramya, Rudrasankhika, 9 lakh species in the sea, in the water. There are so many lakh species in plants and animals and plants and creepers. And there are 11 lakh species in insects and reptiles and da-da-da-da, it goes like that. And they are all spirit souls who are equal, but they're situated unequally because of the karma. See, that's why Krishna is saying, Chaturvarnya Maya system, Guna Karma Vibhagasha. Everybody's desire is individual to him. Everybody's action is different from the other. And therefore, the result you get from that action is also different. And that decides your material situation and how all of them will be equal. Actually, Bhagavad Gita tells you, rejoice in inequality. Why? The fact that somebody is different from me should be exciting, because then only you can recognize him as an individual. You see, people have to differ from each other. How can they get only wealth and all that exactly the same, but you want individuality also in all of them? If they exercise their individuality, they will create karma that is unique to them, and each one of their karmas is different from each other, and therefore the results will be different. And therefore there will be somebody who is richer, somebody who is poorer. Right? So that's how it is. The real thing is to enjoy and celebrate the fact that somebody's, situation is different. That's very interesting to know for me. For me, I am not trying to, I was thinking that it shouldn't be like that. Even in ISKCON, I've try to see that it should be equal and this and that. But inequality is here to stay. And instead of trying to fight it, we should try to celebrate it because it's interesting. Inequality actually originates from your individuality. And if all of us are Hail Hitler type of guys who are all equal inside, then what's the big fun at all? What's the big fun at all? There is no fun in being one. You must understand that. There's no fun in being one. Our philosophy is we have equality in certain places when you're spirit soul, equal chances, equal opportunities to go to Krishna, which Krishna declares in Bhagavad Gita, Striyo Vaishyas Tata Shudras Yayanti Param Gatim. Right? I am equal to everybody and I give equal opportunities to everybody. Right? So, our understanding, to me, it sounds far more realistic to accept things like this than to be trying to iron out everything physically in the material world in terms of equality. I know this is a hot topic, but I am interested and excited about the fact that there'll be greater understanding if we accept inequality, and within that there is equality. This is, I think, can be fit into Lord Chaitanya's Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. We are all equal in terms of all being spirit souls, having an equal opportunity with our Supreme Father Krishna. It depends on how much of it you want to exercise and be situated in equality. As long as you do that, you will actually have inequality. And that inequality should be understood properly. And if it is understood properly, you can actually live a hybrid. You have to live a hybrid of inequalities and equalities in the material world. Material world is designed for material inequality, but the spiritual equality can never be effaced. So we live with both spiritual equality and material inequality, and you should live at ease in that if you understand properly what these two things means. So there I will stop because there are a lot of messages coming from people who want to clamor, who are clamoring for some attention in terms of questions or in terms of some things they want to talk about. Okay, so is there a question here on the chat? Or Jai Sachinandan Krishnadas, thought, just a thought, Maharaja, since people are asuric, desiring matter deeply, people who want Jeff Bezos to step down are the ones who want to live on the consumerism he feeds. It is because of this that the most famous men are those who feed the asuric needs of asuric people. But Kali Yuga people in the mode of ignorance can complain at every turn. Yeah, all that is true. All that is true, what you say. But I like to comment that people who want Jeff Bezos to step down are not the ones alone who want to live on the consumerism he feeds. It's also people who are forced to, according to them, I'm saying, who are forced to live a life that is of much lesser quality, working in huge numbers, doing lesser jobs, which actually allow people like him to be in that position. Just because he has some type of a software or whatever it is that runs online shopping in such a way, he clicked it first and he moved in and he did the necessary thing. All others have to do certain things. You know, the feeling that I could also be doing it and why he alone is doing it, and why that feeling is something that needs to be explained. That great desire to be doing something great and enjoying something great and having a position in this world, all that stuff together ultimately is based on the subtle, very intangible strength of karma. And those things I don't think are going to be easily explained, though these concepts are being understood in some way or the other by other people. But it is a fact that our economy has also got aspects of that are humanly created and foundationally to do with karma and other things, which is essentially at its base about inequality, if you want to use the word inequality. But it's got a deeper philosophical connotation also. So thank you for that comment, And here, no fun in being one. Rohit Kumar finds it to be very exciting. Giriraj Govinda, oh, welcome, Giriraj. I did not know you were here. Srila Prabhupada could establish ISKCON in America because it's a free democratic society which believes equality, liberty, and justice. I don't know about that. That's the only reason. I wouldn't say that that's the only reason, but it's an open society and there is free speech and etc. etc. And people are willing to examine. And India had gravitated to being a society that is still trying to do some soul searching, and after being raped by Mughals and then being slapped left, right, center till they became blue by colonialism, and before that their own problems of Brahmins dropping down and falling off, and then their whole Varnashrama society completely screwed up and topsy-turvy, like Krishna says in 15th chapter, Urdhva Moolam Adashakam, Shudras came up and Brahmanas went down. It became the other way around. And after all that happened, I don't think they could think of any liberty and justice. They were just trying to find their food and living together. So naturally, they had fanatic religious systems as a fallout from all the colonialism and all the Mughals and all the other type of stuff Kali Yuga brings in. So definitely there was not such a fertile ground for accepting pure Krishna consciousness in the domain that created it. You see, Prabhupada said an amazing thing that preachers are never respected in their home country. He said that they'll be denounced. So also for Jeff Bezos, if he's some sort of a great icon that he thought people have created, and I've got so many, people following me on social media, he'll be surprised to know that 70,000 people, and it's only the beginning, maybe 70 million people will say that get lost to Jeff Bezos, who knows? So you will be surprised to know what people actually think. So true, we are benefited because of equality. To take benefit and then criticize it is hypocrisy. Well, we are benefited how? Because of equality. We are benefited because of equality because in America, they're not able to make them equal. They're just talking about equality. America is a lot of people talking amongst themselves. And not everything that they talk amongst themselves is something that they've been able to achieve. The guys who achieve it are the guys who are on top, having all the money in the world. While you keep busy speaking about equality, justice, liberty, something exactly opposite to that is done by those people. And you don't say anything to them. You can't say anything to them. All you can do is to speak and write or blogs on it. That's all. But the world is running unequally, and it is forced upon you. And that is also mentioned and corroborated in the Bhagavad Gita. Who said, America, there is equality and justice? There's talk about it. You look at what's happening actually. Where is there inequality? Why all this Black Lives Matter and racist thing came out? Where is the equality in that? And where is the equality in the wealth distribution? All over the world, it is the same thing. It's not America. America just starts talking about these things a lot. And they tout it a lot, but they have not been able to achieve it. There's no liberty, there is no justice. Because I think that these are all just a lot of hot air balloon talk. Everybody talks a lot about it. I criticize it. I don't think I'm criticizing it hypocritically. I'm criticizing it realistically. Because I'm giving you foundational understanding from Bhagavad Gita, which you believe in. World is designed for inequality. And if we already believe in that, why do we switch and prostitute ourselves to another philosophy here and there just for the sake of getting some titillating sensations? Yes, it is true that it is designed for inequality. I believe in it. And it has never been equal till now. Right from the Vedic times, which always says it is unequal. There are people of different karmas. How you can equate them? How you can equate man and woman? Prabhupada simply said, very simple thing. He said, man can never become pregnant. Can never become equal. The design is different. So we can keep talking all these interesting things here and there and writing and blogging and vlogging and whatever it is. But there is a reality to this world that should be acknowledged. We should be comfortable to understand the reality, and we should know who we are actually, and within that achieve our real purpose. It's not that we are supposed to go around making things correct according to our own notions. I don't subscribe to that. Somehow or the other. Rohit Kumar, it might not make a difference, Maharaj, because Bezos has anyway resigned as a CEO. Really, I did not know. I don't know about that.
He's
So
resigned
maybe
on. He's resigning on July 5, next month.
oh, really?
I mean,
After this
next
thing
week
came up?
maybe. No. He decided in the first quarter of the year that he's resigning.
Okay.
In January,
So
he
he has
announced
made enough. He has made enough.
kind of.
Ah, interesting. I did not know
I
that.
was just I wanted to make a point that this is like a trend. Like as you said, because of this guy, because of him monopolizing all the business, all the small businesses suffer because
Yeah.
they are not able to sell their product. And the same thing happened in 2010 when that recession came in. Walmart became big, and all the small businesses suffered, and they had the same emotions towards Walmart that Walmart has to go away and stuff like that. So it's more of a cycle. Some person comes up, gets all the money, and then all the others try to vote him out and kick him out and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's history.
Yeah.
That's history. At one point of time, Christians were ruling the whole world using religion. They had these fantastic empires everywhere. Then the Muslims attacked. They were their, religious cousins in the Abrahamic religion. They rose up and they came and they attacked and slaughtered so many Christians and tried to assume power. These are religious people, by the way, believe in God and equality and everything. And if you see the religious history, Christians and Muslims have a deadly history, full of death, deathly history. So you can see in history throughout, there has never been any position of everybody being equal. It's some utopian understanding, which you will not get, but rather what we have actually seen and we are seeing and we are going to see is the opposite of it. Is the opposite of it. And this definitely is the way things are going to work. I think we are supposed to live within that understanding comfortably. I don't know how we're going to do that, but that will be an interesting thing to discuss. And I think that Krishna consciousness has got a lot of roles to play, not simply because of our own. We may not have been understanding Krishna consciousness vision very well enough, I think. We still have to blossom in our understanding of the fantastic. Every time I look at what Prabhupada has done and what he plans to do and this thing, I appreciate that in the face of things happening in this world. I see that he has got a greater zoomed out, dispassionate understanding, and his prescription also is detached, unattached type of a prescription. It's not like a Jeff Bezos prescription or Bill, what is his name? Bill Gates prescription, because they have a stake in the matter in this world. And he's giving us a prescription that will very well work out. But it requires a lot of labor. It requires a lot of understanding. It requires a lot of maturity spiritually. And that is how it is designed. The world is designed with inequality, but is also designed to stay peacefully within the inequality. I'll give you that fantastic instance in the Krishna book in the Bhagavatam of Bahulashva, King Bahulashva and Shrutadeva Brahmana, in both inviting Krishna. Shrutadeva is a very poor Brahmana, and Krishna simultaneously goes to both the places. It's a very interesting thing. All these things have got some amazing connotations. So Bahulashva has got nothing. He's got a grass hut and a torn grass mat, and he's got a few fruits and some water. And he welcomes all the sages coming with Krishna and gives all of them this. And it seems he welcomes Krishna by waving his chadar when he is coming and dances in front of his grass hut. Hari bol, like that. And Krishna is extremely pleased with him. Same way, Bahulashva, simultaneously the scene shifts that said, and Bahulashva is welcoming Krishna in a grand manner because he's a king. He's got a huge reception of people drumming and sounding all musical instruments and brahmanas chanting and flowers being thrown and the sages and Krishna stepping inside and they're getting a massive reception. But Krishna is simultaneously visiting both places. Huh? And Bahulashwa is his great devotee. And he's equally associating, equally relating with both of them. That's the amazing thing. The devotional aspect remains the same, irrespective of the material embellishments and all the paraphernalia that surround it. That is equality. It's a richer understanding of what equality means for Krishna. It's a much educated, mature, richer understanding of equality. Just like in the society of people, we know that human beings are all equal. We are one species. That is an unspoken understanding of equality. And that's why this clamor of facility, this clamor of opportunity, this clamor of all these things is coming together. Similarly, if we can raise ourselves to the understanding that we are spiritual beings, we can take the inequality because we will rest on that understanding of equality, that we are all spirit souls. I think these are very deep points. So thank you for your input, Rohit. What else is mentioned here? Sureshwar Shrikant, caste system is created by religious things. Today, people are hating Hinduism than the other religious things. One of the major inequalities. So just because the world is designed to be inequality, the caste system is like that. Am I correct? But first of all, stop hating inequality or praising equality or any of these things. First of all, understand reality. I think equality, inequality, and reality. Everybody in the process of understanding equality and inequality, reality has slipped between their fingers and gone away. And that's why there is a problem. It's not about inequality. It's not about equality. That's a red herring. The point is about reality. The reality is that I am a spiritual personality. Krishna, the supreme absolute truth, exists. I am similar. Aham Brahmasmi. I am also spiritual in nature. But I am not equal with God. I am not same as God. There is inequality. And it's here to stay. Inequality and equality both are here to stay. And they are part of the system. That's what we should understand. We don't denounce inequality and accept equality. We want both because that's part of the system. Why do we separate these? Why can't we accommodate these two within? If you ask a parent, he will tell you this realization very well. My mother had 8 children and I've seen her. I think she's a wonderful example. Now, as I recollect, I think she was an amazing lady managing the family for 54 years of her married life with 8 children. Each one of them were definitely very different. To people differently. To all of her children, she catered to differently. So there is inequality and equality. What do you expect? You expect, I didn't expect my mom to make a, stop the graph this way and, flatten the graph. I don't think she did that at all. I remember to me, she said that, I told her that, I don't want to follow the same thing these guys did, go for a job, get married and have kids and earn money and then struggle and all that. I don't think I want that. I'm going to join and become a monk. And then she, for very sad for a few moments, and remember she telling me, I think you should do that. You should go and do that. If that's what you like to do. In fact, for that moment, I was more shocked. I thought that I'm going to draw some attention from her and say, don't go, you are my son. No, she didn't do any of those things. She thought for a few moments, she felt very bad and all that. She said, no, if you like it, you should do it. Because then she could immediately adjust the inequality and immediately appreciate that I am different and grant it to me. And then later in the life, she also got initiated. She also appreciated. She also looked after her family and other members. So in Indian culture, if you go back and see, you see people have a very healthy adjustment of all these things. They don't clamor and, they, in fact, I think they're far more mature. And they don't fight against inequalities. They don't fight against disparities. They make a very good adjustment. They get resolved. All inequalities get nicely resolved and adjusted in personalism, in understanding humane interactions at a much different, richer level. That's what humanity lacks. Instead of, moving around in the morass of this type of inequalities and getting thrown up and down here and there with no solution, I think people should rise to a better spiritual understanding. Then they can accept the design. They can accept the design. Okay. Right. So caste system, I don't think is something designed purposely. Caste system is natural because people have different gunas affecting them according to their different karmas. So definitely thoughts will be different, desires will be different, tastes will be different. And those things actually don't matter much. They are only temporary within our material sphere. So because of the deeper understanding of the philosophy of Krishna consciousness given in Bhagavad Gita, people can not pay too much attention to the external differences. That's okay. They just accept it like that. Shrutadeva, he was very happy because Krishna has come to his place. He's poverty stricken, you can say, but he's not spiritually poverty stricken, which is what really matters. He may be materially poverty stricken and he has not decided to pay attention to it because he knows guna karma vibhagasha. But I have knowledge. I can, understand the Vedic scripture and I am very well situated. I think devotees should live life out of this type of an understanding. Their life will be much deeper, much more peaceful, and more happy if they settle down to understand differences and equality living together. It'll be a great civilization if we do that. Here, Jai Sachinandan again. Agree, Maharaj, equality is impossible when contaminated by the gunas. Since people have desires, rajas, there will be bliss. And when there is bias, there will be bias, and there is bias. Equality is there in the philosophy, but can never be in action. Okay, you agree. Aso gunamayer bhaver bhuta sukshmendriyatma bihi Swa nirmiteshu nirvishto bhunkta bhuteshu tatgunan. Maybe you should give the translation of that also, because none of us are Sanskrit Pandits. Again, there is inequality here. You must understand. Mostly men, Divyarupa, mostly many don't have a mother like you, Maharaj, respecting others' individuality. Well, that is the previous generation. If you go and ask people in the previous generations how they were, maybe many of them are like that. It's not that only my mother was like that. Of course, if you ask me, I'll start telling how she is actually very special and all that, but she's special to me. But in that generation, people, were able to adjust things very nicely and see it in a different way. So we can have the mother of the Vedic scripture with us in the form of Prabhupada's books. And through that mother, like Prabhupada said, you can see the necessary equality and adjust the inequality. Giriraj Govindadas, diversity is not same as inequality. I think, Maharaj, you're using this interchangeably. I am talking about inequality. And maybe at times I am amalgamating diversity also inside. But diversity is what is actually creation. Inequality is an experience. If I could broadly classify that, Giriraj Govinda, we can go into more nitty-gritty details and split hairs over it. But I think material manifestation has got a diversity. And each one of us is also a creation, you can say. and we all got our diversity. Since we are conscious human beings, conscious people, and if when we are situated inside the material plane, and when we are a lot more materialistically oriented and less spiritually oriented, then the inequality becomes very prominent. Inequality becomes prominent. That's the type of thing that I'm trying to say.